I was still gripping the hospice room curtain when my mother's voice sliced through my phone like a serrated blade disguised as concern. "It was just a piano, Nathan. Stop being so dramatic." Behind me, the medical equipment hummed quietly, monitoring the final hours of the only person who had ever genuinely chosen me. Grandma Eleanor lay there, fragile as parchment, her hands resting on the quilted blanket like unfinished sheet music. They had sold her Steinway, the one she'd promised me when I was 8 years old, the one she said would carry my future when everyone else insisted I wasn't worth the space I occupied. $92,000. That's what my parents converted her legacy into. A vehicle for my sister. A brand new crimson luxury sedan parked in their driveway like a monument erected over my burial plot. I leaned closer to Grandma and whispered everything, every ugly, calculated detail. She didn't weep. She reached for her cell phone. One call, one quiet, measured conversation. Then she looked at me and said, "It's time they met my estate attorney." And for the first time in my life, I understood exactly what justice sounded like. Before I tell you how that single phone call dismantled my parents' entire financial existence and forced them to experience every consequence they'd spent decades avoiding, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable thing a family member stole from you? I'm reading every single story. I remember the afternoon she gave me that piano. Not legally, not in writing, emotionally. I was 9, sitting beside her on the bench while she played, my feet dangling above the floor, my parents arguing in the adjacent room about wasted resources and that kid's pointless obsessions. She stopped mid-phrase and took both my hands in hers. "This piano belongs to you. One day," she told me, her voice absolutely certain. "You're the only one who truly hears it." I believed her completely. I constructed my entire life around that promise. Conservatory applications, endless practice sessions, worn keys, and blistered fingers. I thought that dedication created security. I thought shared DNA meant loyalty. I was catastrophically wrong. The betrayal didn't arrive all at once. It never does. It begins with absence. My parents stopped mentioning the piano entirely, stopped attending my performances, stopped visiting Grandma Eleanor's house with any regularity. Then the fabrications started. Oh, we relocated it for professional maintenance. Oh, it required extensive restoration work. Oh, the living space felt too congested. And then one evening, I drove past their residence and saw it sitting there. That car, gleaming, expensive, completely unnecessary. My sister Melissa laughing behind the steering wheel, while my parents documented her joy like proud venture capitalists, celebrating a successful investment. I verified the piano registry the following morning. It was gone, sold 3 weeks earlier to a private collector in Charlotte. Payment transferred in full to my father's personal account. I didn't scream. I didn't confront them immediately. I created a detailed record. Who purchased it, how they paid, which attorney facilitated the transaction, where the funds were rooted. And then I waited. Because timing separates rage from justice. Grandma Eleanor orchestrated everything else. From her hospice bed, she restructured her entire will, not from emotion, from absolute clarity. She transferred every asset she still controlled, real estate holdings, investment accounts, the entire antique collection, into an irrevocable trust that my parents could never access. Only me. The piano was listed specifically, by serial number and provenance. And she left explicit instructions. A lawsuit to be filed the moment she passed, alleging breach of inheritance rights and unlawful disposition of protected property under estate law. The terms were unambiguous. They had to return the full amount, all $92,000, plus accumulated interest and legal penalties. That vehicle, seized by court order, sold at auction to satisfy damages. They didn't just lose the piano proceeds, they lost their house, their credit rating, their reputation. And my father's name was systematically removed from every professional contract he'd ever signed. Because nobody conducts business with someone who steals from his dying mother. The final confrontation occurred in that same driveway, empty now, stripped of its trophy. My parents standing there, looking decades older than they had appeared just 6 weeks prior. My mother's voice shaking. "You destroyed this family." I stepped forward, completely composed. "You sold the only thing she ever gave me," I said evenly. "I simply ensured you experience the full cost." No shouting, no theatrics, just truth delivered with surgical precision. They had nothing left to say. The silence was absolute. "I still don't physically possess the piano, not